Today we have to look at the tangled geopolitical issue of the Chagos Islands and where historical injustices meet modern realpolitik and Johnson's rhetoric meets a hard dose of reality. Johnson's been at it promoting his book and saying that the return of the Chagos Islands the other day is something that America would not want. The Chagos Islands, officially the British Indian Ocean Territory, have been under UK control since 1965, and they house the strategically vital Diego Garcia Air Base, a linchpin for US military operations from the Middle East to the Indo-Pacific. But recent developments have thrown this territory into the spotlight, not least the arrival of migrants. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson claims that ceding these islands to Mauritius is purely political correctness, devoid of any tangible benefit. According to Johnson, this is not something America wants, but recent moves by the Biden administration suggest otherwise. In July, just after the general election, senior US officials from the National Security Council and the State Department warned the UK that not relinquishing control of the Chagos Islands could strain the special relationship with Washington. The message was clear. If the UK did not act, the US feared Mauritius would turn to the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, which could ultimately disrupt the use of the airbase. Joe Biden, they said, pressed the UK to finalise the deal, despite Johnson's assertion that this was completely the wrong thing to do. The underlying concern that failing to transfer sovereignty might push Mauritius to secure a binding ICJ ruling, potentially resulting in the airbase's closure. As a safeguard, under the agreement, Mauritius could technically control the islands, but Britain and the US could retain use of the base for 99 years. So why the urgency? The answer lies in fears over Chinese influence, and Mauritius has strong economic ties with Beijing, raising alarm over potential Chinese access to Diego Garcia. Johnson's critique labels this move as sheer political correctness and labels and laments the loss of UK sovereignty. He frames the deal as a betrayal, saying it makes Britain look pathetic. However, this ignores the evolving legal and diplomatic pressures. The ICJ has previously ruled that the UK's administration of the territory is unlawful, a judgment that Sir Keir Starmer, upon entering office, saw little room to defy without legal or diplomatic consequences. Foreign Secretary Andrew Mitchell, while sceptical, acknowledged that refusing the agreement might ultimately harm Britain's strategic interests more severely. The deal, though unpalatable to some, protects UK and US operations in the Indian Ocean from protracted legal disputes. Moreover, it's a compromise that allows both nations to maintain a military presence, albeit under a new banner. A unique arrangement? Well, it's not so dissimilar to the arrangement over Hong Kong. Yes, it's reflective of an age where sovereignty is increasingly negotiable and often at the mercy of pragmatism. But the debate underscores how old imperial legacies continue to shape modern alliances and influence global power dynamics. So while Johnson claims that this is misguided capitulation, the reality is that the US pressured the UK precisely to secure its long-term interests in Diego Garcia. As Starmer faces criticism for his decision, one must remember that in the world of geopolitics, practicality often trumps nostalgia, and strategic imperatives usually win over ideals of sovereignty.